Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. And once again I am coming at you from my Global Domination headquarters garage. So you know what that means, be working on something, and what do we got? I got a Yamaha TTR250 here on my workbench, on my work stand, my motorcycle stand. And this is another one of those carburetor issues, surprisingly enough. You know, I discussed that in a video. Carburetors, you got to take care of them. It's kind of like taking care of yourself. You let it go too long, there's going to be problems. So this bike runs, but it's not accepting any throttle inputs. As soon as you give it gas, it kind of coughs and dies. So we know the drill. I'm going to get this seat off of here. These side panels, pull that carburetor out. Of course, we'll check the air filter. I got a broken off turn signal, and I think I made this guy's day by reaching into my cabinet and pulling out an exact match for him. I had one. How crazy is that? Exact same one. Yeah, so I think I got a business partner for life here on this one. And I'm gonna give you all a little sneak preview at one of the next projects. There you go. Got a box of parts and a pedal start moped, or whatever you call these. Are they called mopeds? I think so. I know there's difference between scooters and mopeds, but that's one of them little pedal start. It's a Moto Bacane is the name brand. I've never worked on one of those before, so that'll be an upcoming video, but for the time being, let's get you set up here and we'll go through the steps to get this carburetor off of this bike. I already got started here, removed the left and right side panel. This one has one bolt right here. That's for the left side. The right side has one bolt right here, and they're both held in with a couple of clips. It's like this one you pull down, and then there's a clip there, and you pull it out. That one comes off. And this other side's very similar. Next, we gotta get the seat off. I'll take you under here with me. All right, there's two bolts on the seat. One there, one there. And ideally, you won't let them drop on the floor like I did, but there you go. Seat is off. Next step is to take the tank off. If you're lucky enough to still have this rubber strap on here, you have to get that off, which is easier said than done when you're holding the camera with one hand. Let's see if we can't get you in on the action here. Try not to drop you. My apologies if you go for a ride. Okay, well, I'm gonna need two hands, so we'll take you off and we'll get you back when I get that thing off there, because I just can't get you positioned here very easily. Thanks for sticking with me there. Got that off. That was a tough one. All right, now you got two bolts, one on each side, right here. I've already removed the other side, and then I have already done this. You can pull, make sure your fuel is off first. Pull it off the carburetor, pull your fuel hose off. Let's put this bolt right in there. All right, and now we take the tank off. We have access to our carburetor. So we have to disconnect these throttle cables, which are almost always 10 millimeter on Japanese bikes. I can't think of any that are not, actually. If I'm working on a carburetor, that's one of the first things I'll do is grab my 10 millimeter wrench. Of course, 10 millimeter wrench is pretty common anyway, so, but that being said, for these throttle cables, I'd have to say, I dare you to find some that are not 10 millimeters. Okay, there we go. Always easier to take these off than it is to put them on. These, fortunately, are not in too bad of a spot. So we need to loosen up this clamp that goes between the carburetor and the intake manifold, and then this one on the back, which goes to our air box, which let's open that up now too while we're looking. We'll see what that looks like inside of there, because engine needs clean air to run. Oh, it looks beautiful, nice and clean. You can't hardly beat that. A little bit of dirt in there, so we'll just put a little bit of degreaser on that, let that sit. And I might do the same here. Spray a little bit of degreaser in there and clean that out with a toothbrush. But honestly, that's not going to affect the running of the engine so much. But keeping the airbox clean is always good. So I'll loosen these up, and it's always a little twist and turn and a little bit of gymnastics, and sometimes some new words are created, so I'll keep you off camera for that, and we'll bring it back once I got this out and on my bench. Let's get you a little before and after of the carburetor. So this is out of the bike. There you go. You can see how dirty it is inside of there. And this is just the outside of it, so I'll take it all apart, lay it all out here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's our before flyover shot. The carburetor's not terribly dirty. There's a little bit of gunk in there. The jets don't look too bad. This is a little needle seat. So the float needle seats inside of there. So if you look at that, that O-ring is in pretty sad shape. So I'm going to be replacing that. And if that O-ring goes bad, what can happen is fuel can go past that, fill the float bowl too much, and that causes some issues. So we're going to put this all in the ultrasonic cleaner over here. It's heating up. See, is the soup cooking? Yeah, it's getting there. It's going to be a minute. We'll throw it in there. We'll cook it for 10-15 minutes, and I'll lay it all out here, and I'll show you how this stuff looks after it comes out of there. There we are. After taking a bath in the ultrasonic, everything looks nice and shiny and clean. Remember how that looked before? Get all the gunk off of it. Now I have a mixture of 50-50 pine sol and water in here, so that's what I soak it in. And then when I'm done with that, I soak it in fresh water, and then I blow everything off with my air compressor with the blast nozzle, and then blow through all the little orifices and chambers and clean everything out with that. Now before we put this back together, we are going to be replacing this. Get some decent light on the subject. But yeah, it's not very good. Anyway, that O-ring's in sad shape. So we're going to change that. Everything else is going to go back in, and we'll be up and running. I'll get you a picture once I get this assembled. It's bright and shiny and looks just like new almost. And the good news is, my parts bin is empty, no extra parts. So let's go put her back on here and see if this bike runs better. All right, just the same as it came out. She went back in, got the tank hooked up, fuel is on. Let's turn the key on and see what happens here. Wow. That's what I like to see right there. I'm gonna get the seat. The tank's already on there. Get the seat on there and the side panels. Take this thing up and down the street a couple times and see how she does, because The complaint on this thing was that it idled fine, but under power it bogged out. So let's see what we can do about checking that out. It's probably going to be pretty shaky here, but it's what I got, so let's try it out. Like it's running okay. What do y'all think? I think we're all right. I think we're in there. Let's bring it home. Let me get you guys a view of the road here. Try to make it acceptable at least. I think it runs pretty good. Yamaha TTR250. Nice little bike. Sorry about the seasickness or headache or whatever you got if you watch that riding. You know, I'm going to work on figuring out a way to easily attach this camera somehow, or my phone, I mean. I have an older GoPro, but I'm kind of lazy on editing. So I might try it. I might try the GoPro, see if there's an easier way to edit those videos. But until then, I'm using my phone, and all I've done is here. I'll show you. This is my tripod that I usually use, or I hold it when I'm shooting, and very flexible legs on it, and I just wrap those around the handlebar here when I did this. Oh yeah, look at that, I got my pinky in front of here. Great. Yeah, like I said, lazy on editing. So, let me put this in here again. That's an easy way to attach to just about any motorcycle, but I need to find something just to bring you all along on these little rides and stuff. I think it would be a little bit more enjoyable. But until then, you're gonna get seasick if I bring you along until we figure out something a little bit better. But we're done with this one, and I don't know about anyone else, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this little pedal start moped. These things are just, I don't know what, I like them. They're fun. They're cool. So if you're excited or interested in that, let me know, because we'll be doing a video or two on that one. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.